Hello and welcome to What's the Deal, the podcast that takes the big, complex world of energy and breaks it down into bite-sized conversations that actually make sense. I'm Connie, your curious guide on this journey, and I'll be learning right alongside with you. Each week, we're going to explore how renewable energy and the race to net zero are shaping our future, without the jargon, without the politics, just the real stuff that matters. From the big questions like what does net zero actually mean, to whether electric cars are secretly spying on us. We're going to cut through the noise and help you make sense of it all. So plug in, power up, and let's get started. All right, so here we are, episode 1 of What's the Deal. I'm going to be honest, starting something new is a little bit nerve-wracking. I mean, it's just me, you, and this microphone right now. And all that's running through my head is, what if you accidentally mix up solar panels and satellites? It could happen. These things, you could think I'm a dumbass, but that's okay because, hey, that's what the point of this podcast is. I'm really not here as an expert. I'm here as someone just like you who's curious about the world of renewable energy and just gets overwhelmed with the jargon, the headlines, and the sheer amount of information that is out there. So yeah, why did I start What's the Deal? Well, to answer that, I need to rewind a bit. Picture it. Me, a born and bred Londoner, Essex, who somehow found herself living in Amsterdam, a city where cycling isn't just a hobby, it's a way of life. One moment, I'm dodging trams on the bicycle. The next, I'm stumbling into a career that would completely change the way I look at the world. By trade, I'm a recruiter. For years, my day job has been connecting people with opportunities, helping people find their next career step, and helping businesses grow. And it's a job I love because at its core, it's about people and relationships and finding the right fit. But a few years ago, I made a switch. So I went from working for all types of industries to focusing purely on renewable energy companies. And let me tell you, I thought I was prepared for the switch. I mean, how hard can it be to understand what people are doing? I can tell you, very hard. I would sit down looking at a company website, trying to read it and understand it, or an article in the industry. And by the second sentence, I'd have 5 Google tabs open, trying to Google what the heck is a power purchase agreement, or is COP a new dating app I don't know about? Oh no, it's a decision-making body. So yeah, I just realized that there is this massive gap between the experts who live and breathe this stuff and the rest of us who just want to know, how does this actually affect my life? And that's when it hit me. If I am struggling to understand this as somebody working in the industry and talking to the experts, how does everyone else feel? Probably a little bit lost, a little overwhelmed, and even tempted to give up on trying to understand altogether because it's too complicated. And that's not okay, because the transition into renewable energy isn't just about governments and companies. It's about all of us. Without everyday people getting on board with making these changes in their own lives, we can't hit these ambitious climate goals that we've set for ourselves. It's just not possible. 2024 has been the year of changes for me because at the start of this year, I made another big change. I started my own business, Kinch-Reed Partners, and that's a recruitment company that purely specializes in renewable energy. And I can tell you, it feels like I've really found my calling and found where I belong. And I'm really grateful that I finally plucked up the courage to do it. But I wake up every day knowing that I'm helping amazing people build careers in an industry that is changing the world. And through this work, I've learned so much, not just about renewables, but the power of curiosity and connection. But I also learned how much I don't know. again, that's what's inspired this podcast. I wanted to create a space where we can learn together, where I can break down the technical stuff into stories, ideas, practical tips that anyone can understand. Because here's the deal. The future of renewable energy isn't some abstract thing that's far away. It is happening now, and it is going to affect all of us. The choices we make, what we drive, how we power our homes, what we vote for, they all matter. And understanding those choices is the first step in making a difference. So what can you expect from this podcast? Well, every week we're going to dive into a new topic. So some episodes will just be me breaking things down, like what does net zero actually mean, or are electric cars actually as green as they claim to be? Other weeks I'm going to be bringing on guests, so industry experts, innovators, and people who are making waves in the renewable energy industry. We'll ask the big questions, the weird questions, and maybe even the uncomfortable ones. And here's the thing. This isn't about being perfect or having all of the answers. It's about learning, staying curious, and taking small, meaningful steps towards a better future. So whether you're a total newbie to the world of renewables, or you're someone that's been following it for years, I think this podcast could have something for you. We're in this together, learning, growing, and maybe, hopefully, even laughing along the way. Before I do wrap up, I just want to take a moment to talk about why this matters, not just to me, but for all of us. The thing is, we are living in a massive period of change. The way we power our homes, the way we travel, and even the stuff we're buying is transforming. And whilst that's exciting, it can also feel a bit overwhelming. Like, where do we even start? But here's the truth. It's not about doing everything perfectly or being 100% sustainable, but it's about doing what we can and learning as we go and staying open to those changes. And the more we understand, the more we can make choices that align with the kind of future that we want for ourselves, or not just ourselves, our children and our children's children as well. I'll be honest with you. The reason I'm so passionate about this is because I've seen firsthand how amazing people can be when they come together. I've worked with companies that are literally building the future of energy, and I've met people who have dedicated their lives to solving problems that most of us don't even know exist. But here's the catch. Those experts can't do it alone. The transition will only work if we're all part of it. And that's why this podcast isn't just me talking at you. It's about learning alongside you and figuring it out together, because I also don't know. I'm also, every day's a school day. So thank you for joining me on episode 1 of What's the Deal. I really hope you're walking away with a little bit more clarity on what you can expect. And I hope it sparked lots of curiosity about the next podcast session where we have an amazing guest. If today did spark any questions or ideas or thoughts about what episodes you want to hear about, I want to hear from you. Connect with me on LinkedIn, Connie Kinch-Reed. Let's keep the conversation going. But for now, I will see you next time. Stay curious, stay plugged in, and I'll see you back next week for another episode of What's the Deal.